This is my day 1 Xueyi build, or I guess maybe perhaps day 3 at this point, but I'm going to be showcasing some of her abilities, or what she can do rather, on MOC 10, because there are a couple more quantum weak enemies on this side, and it just makes it a little easier. And her talents are like 8 and 7, something like that, so doing MOC 12 is a little tougher to get it in like a good cycle number, so I'm going to be using Ranmei, Tingyun, and Pela, or Silverwolf, no? I guess, yeah. And Ranmei's sustaining capabilities are going to really shine. You're going to be able to see, because I just take no damage in this first wave. It's really, really nice. And the ult is going to be a little bit less than the toughness we can do. We can wipe out about more than half of an enemy's toughness bar if we do have Ranmei's weakness break efficiency plus Xueyi's ult, right? And we don't even need Silverwolf to be applying the weakness, because Xueyi has like built-in Silverwolf technology, right? And this skill is just going to wipe it out, so we can finish the first wave in 0 cycles. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the second wave in 0 cycles. It is going to take 1 cycle, but it is not very scary, because Ranmei really, really helps just not take too much damage. And we are going to be applying Quantum to this guy and popping our ult, taking out more than probably 75% of the toughness bar already. And now with Xueyi's ult, we can chip away at around over 60% of the toughness bar of the one enemy just with an ult due to Ranmei's weakness break efficiency. That's a really, really nice thing. And of course her E2 will chip away a little bit. It doesn't actually do too much toughness, her follow-up attacks. But this will be enough to break the enemy, and now we can start stacking well, I guess not now, but eventually we'll be attacking that a couple times, the left guy, just so we can get a couple more entanglement procs, right? Entanglement? Whatever it is, the quantum thing. And Ranmei is going to get her ult up again. That is wonderful, although not really necessary, but we are going to be able to get our ult up with 1 skill now with Xueyi, and we'll target the guy with a little bit more health and make sure we immediately use our ult, because the buff, the MOC buff, is going to do a ton of damage, because we're going to be breaking again, right? So we're going to get multiple stacks. And we can see it's 86, wonderful. And see, we're already at 10 stacks for the MOC buff. So if that had just spread out on the left guy, that would have just killed with the ability, and it would have been like a 0.5 cycle. But I just, I didn't really feel like rerunning it just so it would die, because I wasn't gonna be able to 0 cycle anyways. So we'll just a little quick Xueyi will finish it off, and wonderful, beautiful. That is Seal on this side, but she will do nothing again. Let's go to the builds. For Xueyi, she is on the Herdershop Light Cone. Now, as you can see, her break effect is super, super low. I am having a very hard time picking between crit and break effect, and I lean towards crit, because unless you have a very good crit ratio, and what I mean by that is crit rate. You just need crit rate. I could use a crit rate body, but I just don't have very good crit rate with crit damage pieces, or just high crit damage pieces. So her break effect did have to suffer by, well, I think 100%, because I have about 0 substats into break effect, and I was trying a break effect rope, which obviously is the better choice for Xueyi. You want to be putting her on a break effect rope, because it essentially doubles as a damage orb / rope, right? Because of her up to 240% transition of, or whatever the word is, but being able to turn break effect into damage percent. And so we're missing out on a ton of damage percent, but having her be a crit build, I think, makes all of her damage good, and then her break effect is still okay, because Ranmei is going to be giving her 20 break effect, right? So it's going to be 57, and then I do have her E4, so that will be another 40, right? So that's going to be 97. Pretty good. It does a reasonable amount of damage, let's say. Now let's go into the rest of it. She is going to be on Herdershop's Light Cone, and these traces are so sad, but I will get those up once the weekly boss refreshes. And for this, we are on attack boots. The thing is, Tingyun gives that 20% speed as long as you use the ult on the character's turn, right? Because that way they keep the speed until their next turn. So you can actually essentially just add 20 speedish to your character and try to hit around 130. Pair that with Dance Dance Dance, and you'll pretty much be able to run attack boots on any single DPS if you run them on Tingyun. You can even make it so they outspeed Bronya with attack boots. So I almost always run attack boots on my DPS because speed boots should really be like a support thing. But of course, there are sometimes where that's not the case. Now for her orb, she's on the attack orb. Now I actually got really lucky because I have this beautiful attack orb, and this is always on my Danheng, but it somehow is perfect on Xueyi because she doesn't even want a quantum orb. And yeah, so the attack orb is definitely the way to go. And this attack rope, the only reason I'm using it is because it has 11% crit rate. Break effect is 100% better, but I just don't have the crit rate, so I had to settle for an attack rope. Yeah, so this is my break effect rope. I rolled it to 12, and this had started with 4 substats, and it missed every single time. It went HP, defense, I think defense. I don't even know how it managed to miss speed and crit damage every single time, but I don't want to talk about it anymore, so let's just go over to Tingyun or something. God, this piece is so bad. It was gonna be so good, but yeah. Now she does activate, does have her E4, although I'll be honest, my Xueyi is so underbuilt that I think that the third Eidolon and the fourth Eidolon is essentially just making up for the fact that I don't have her skill leveled past 7, and I also don't have any break effect on her at all. So it just kind of makes it a little bit better, obviously, but or it will be a lot better, obviously, once you actually build her in like a dedicated fashion. And for Tingyun, I guess we'll just speed through the rest of it because it's not too important. Now, she did have 38 effect res. That is kind of something that I like to have on a lot of my supports because I just hate when they get CC'd for no reason. So a good amount of effect res will make it so they stay relatively safe, you know? And that extra 5% energy from Penacony makes it so you only have to get hit once to get Tingyun's ult up. So it's pretty nice. Although I don't have to get hit because I do have Ron May's light cone on, so that extra 10 energy just makes it so I don't have to keep on resetting runs until I get that one lucky hit on Tingyun, which isn't lucky because it's Tingyun. Now 44% effect res, and I missed it, but I think it was 90 or something effect hit rate, so Silver Wolf is on resolution. And Ron May on the break effect set, she is on double defense right now because I just needed a little bit more effect res so I wouldn't have to get imprisoned by those stupid shadows. And she is E0. God, I want to press it so bad, but I must hold it in. Yeah. Anyways, once the week resets, I'm going to be upgrading Xueyi to max because I've already farmed for her. I just neglected that the stupid weekly boss was needed for Ron May and Xueyi. I'll be honest, I didn't even know how many weekly boss materials you needed to upgrade a character until I tried doing Ron May and Xueyi in the same week. So I just learned that you actually need a pretty good amount of boss materials to upgrade your talents. But that is the initial build of Xueyi. If you have any suggestions, improvements, well, there's a lot of improvements obviously, but please let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you feel like it, like the video if you don't, and thanks for watching. Adios.